Syria's President Assad has vowed to keep on fighting, even as world leaders are pushing for a pause in hostilities. He says his support for the peace talks doesn't mean that the battle against rebel forces should stop.
Let's talk to Afshin Shahi, who's a lecturer in Middle East politics at the University of Bradford, about this. Morning.
Good morning.
Your reaction to these comments? I mean, rare interview to hear from President Assad, but he's still defiant. He is determined to bring the country under his control, total control.
It was a rare interview, but what he said really wasn't rare. I mean, this is pretty much a narrative that the Syrian regime has been relying on over the last 5 years. They've been kind of relying on these kind of binary narratives of us versus them, black versus white, us versus the terrorists. So once again, he emphasized that this is his duty as the legitimate head of a state to confront terrorism and to liberate every single city, which is, according to him, is kind of occupied by the terrorist forces.
So he says his fight goes on. Some of the rebels have already indicated that their fight goes on. And at the same time, we've got these supposedly peace talks and talk of a ceasefire of some kind. I mean, it doesn't look like a very workable ceasefire, does it?
I mean, I very much doubt it. I mean, if the current round of negotiation can lead into a lasting peace, at least anytime soon.
Any kind of peace?
If anything, it will be more about a kind of conflict management. If anything, it will be about kind of facilitating or basically taking some measures to get aid to the worst affected areas, places like Madaya, which has been in the center of attention. But in terms of kind of reaching a lasting peace or lasting ceasefire, you need basically a political commitment from every single side on the ground.
That's never gonna happen, though, is it?
And right now, Assad is extremely determined to keep on, because finally we're beginning to see a turning point. Because over the last 2 or 3 years, I mean, we haven't had a clear loser or winner on the ground. But since March, when Moscow got directly involved in Syria, finally Assad is beginning to make a bit of progress. Over the last week or so, they have had some serious advancements in northern Syria. So as far as Assad is concerned, this is the time. The moment of truth, according to him, finally has arrived. So he needs to push. This is the momentum for him. So this is the last thing that he wants to do at the moment, to stop. So as far as his concerned, that basically he has to push and push to maximize his interest.
So in a week, which was what was expected, a ceasefire in a week, is that just not going to happen, in your opinion?
The thing is, I mean, there are a lot of sides that have not even been part of the negotiation. For example, I mean, even if in that kind of ideal world, every single side basically decide to kind of stop fighting, but we are still going to have a lot of problems with ISIS and other jihadi, for example, networks. A very big chunk of the country is still controlled by the Islamic State, and none of the parties yesterday in Munich kind of suggested that there should be a ceasefire with ISIS or the Nusra Front and other jihadi networks. So if there will be a ceasefire, it will be kind of minimal, it will be limited to specific geographical frontiers and boundaries.
Afshin Shahi, many thanks for talking to us.